So yesterday, the government voted to stop a bill that would have prevented car companies from getting funding to install shutoff switches on all of their newly manufactured cars, or basically all of our future vehicles. Now, I don't understand how this all came about. I wasn't really even aware anything like this was going on. But my big question is, why does the government need to have so much control over our vehicles that they need to have their own shutoff switches in all of our future cars so that they can, shut it off for whatever reason they deem necessary? It seems like massive overreach to me. And, will they need a warrant to do this, or can they just do it on a whim? I think the original thinking of the bill had to do with drunk drivers. I don't even know how that would work. I mean, how do you know someone's drunk? Are they setting something up with the bartender? Are they installing something in the car, a breathalyzer? I don't even understand how any of that works. And I'm sure the thinking behind it is, well, it's all for safety, right? Because it's always for safety when the government gets involved in something to take our freedoms away. And this is just another level of overreach to take our freedoms away. I guess you could say, well, what if, you had the police chasing a car and they were trying to stop a bad guy. And so that gives them the right to push the off switch on the car and shut the car off, and then they save everyone from the bad guy. Okay, so you could probably get a huge list of reasons why. You could say safety, but even if you are allowing them to shut off a car that's speeding, what happens at that point? What if this car is going 100 miles an hour? You shut this car off. Is that person still going to be able to control that car at 100 miles an hour, and you just hit the kill switch, or does it just kill the fuel source? Or I have a lot of questions here why they would be wanting to put these on all of our future vehicles. Aside from that, who makes the decisions on who gets their car shut off and who doesn't? And I mean, is it just a broad bill that basically says, we can shut anybody's car off we deem necessary if we don't like them, or if they say something we don't like, or things like that? You just never really know what the thinking is behind that, and that's not good. But I have a lot of questions about that. I don't know a lot about the bill. It's just, I saw that and I was shocked that they're actually stopping this bill that would have prevented all this from happening. It was a bipartisan agreement. Everybody on both sides sort of jumped in on this and agreed, no, we don't want this bill to get passed, because then we won't be able to put the switches in everybody's cars. So I've got a lot of concerns about that, because your car is kind of like your home on the road. When you're in your car, that's your personal space. That's where you're living at that moment. Are they eventually going to want a key to your house because they now have the keys to your car? If they can shut your car off anytime they want, then will they also want a key to your house? It just seems ridiculous that this is what the government is looking to do. And now that this bill was stopped, it looks like the car companies are going to get all the funding they need to put these off switches or remote off switches in our vehicles. But also, on a side note, in regards to wanting to do good and do what's right and stopping bad guys, I can understand there's always thinking behind that where they want to do that and they want to do good with it. but somebody always does something bad with it. Are there any thoughts to hackers maybe hacking these remote switches and shutting off people's cars, maybe to carjack people? When you're stopping bad guys with one thing, you could be creating bad guys with another. And so what if somebody hacks an entire car company's off switch? Or maybe they're all the same, and the hacker can hack all the off switches, so you can shut off everybody's car in an entire city, or maybe the whole country. I mean, how far does that go in having off switches for someone somewhere to be able to control? And I have a lot of questions about this, and hopefully somebody will be willing to fight this in court whenever this gets moving and they actually start doing it. I hope somebody actually fights this, because it just seems ridiculous to me that we would let any politician or anyone outside of our own personal family or us control our own car. I mean, I just see a lot of safety issues with that. And I don't think, a lot of times when you get bureaucrats that make decisions on things with our personal safety, and they write these laws, they come up with this stuff, they don't really think deep on all the consequences of something so simple. So what do you end up with? You end up with anything could happen to anyone at any given time, because they just don't have full control over these switches they put in. I mean, what if somebody that you have a problem with, or what if someone in government doesn't like you and they just decide one day, well, we're not going to let you use your car? And that bothers me. So I don't know, maybe what we really need is an off switch for all the frivolous spending that's going on in our government, to stop them from doing silly things like putting off switches in our vehicles, so they can tell us when we can and can't drive. And maybe that would solve some of the problem. Let me know what you think. This one kind of bothers me. Hopefully it bothers you, because I just can't imagine giving away the freedom that we have to operate our own vehicle to the government. Let me know what you think.